What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Sunshine Cup running a very unique moveset on Trevenant to hard punish all the Vigoroth save swaps in this meta. Vigoroth is absolutely everywhere and has a save swap with a slight energy advantage. It can grab a shield from almost anything switching into it besides Trevenant. Normally non-stab, sucker punch and foul play would be massive downgrades from Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball, but with the majority of the Sunshine Cup meta being normal types, having neutral damage, especially with the fast move, actually helps considerably. Against Vigoroth, for example, you can land one seed bomb and just farm all the way down, and you're not completely walled by the normal and flying types either. With that being said, let's get into the question of the day. What's the weirdest moveset you've run on what most people would consider to be a meta Pokemon? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Shadow Mamoswine into Gligar, so a perfect lead for us. The opponent safe swaps into their Vigoroth. We do wait a couple of turns there just to guarantee it is the Vigoroth, because if they come in with a double, that's not a great matchup for the Trevenant because of that payback. But like this, we can completely wall them, even though they do get a slight energy advantage on that swap in. They're going full body slams, they're double resisted, counter is also double resisted, and with these sucker punches, whilst they're not doing that much damage, they put them into range where when we land that seed bomb, we can fully farm them down. I'm going to tank the next body slam. It gets us into the red health, fairly low actually, but we don't care. We're going to go for a seed bomb here. We won't make it to a second seed bomb, but it doesn't matter. We only give the Gligar 2 extra wing attacks for that farm down. We come in with the Mamoswine, they make it to an aerial ace. I'm going to shield this up just because I can pretty much guarantee a shield back from whatever they come in with in the back, and they come in with a double, and Shadow Mamoswine hits like an absolute truck. So we grab the shield with the avalanche, we swap into our Shadow Donphan, and we can easily tank a body slam. So I'm gonna let the first move go through. They go for it there, it doesn't take us out, it doesn't get us into farm down range either. We're gonna go for our own body slam, they let it go through, and this is game over for the opponent. They do actually fire off a charge move, we don't really care, we're gonna let it go through. It does take us out, but Mamoswine can come in, Powder Snow farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Vigoroth in the lead this time around, so we're going to save swap into our Shadow Donphan, and Shadow Donphan is pretty similar to that Vigoroth in that you can typically grab a shield advantage or switch advantage against whatever they come in with. Here the opponent actually stays in with the Vigoroth because they don't have a great response, so they grab my shield and now they come in with a Gust Pidgeot. Now we're going to go for the body slam number 2, grabbing both shields from the opponent, but they're able to fully Gust farm me down. Now I'm going to come in with the Mamoswine here. I'm going to let this go through. If they Brave Bird me, they're going to debuff their defense and Trevenant would be able to farm them down, but because they go for that Feather Dance, we can make it to a charge move here. This will be taking out the Pidgeot. We come in with the Trevenant as soon as they come in with the Vigoroth, and they've got a Dunsparce in the back. Now this is typically a bad matchup for the Trevenant because Shadow Claw is resisted and 2 seed bombs would not be enough damage to take them out, but because we're running Sucker Punch, the Sucker Punches are really going to add up, and they will put them into range where we can now shield, and I will be able to take them out with 1 seed bomb and come out with nearly another seed bomb loaded. So we throw on correct timing. Honestly, probably should have thrown on the CMP tie here just because Vigoroth does have a little bit of residual energy, but I'm able to make it to the seed bomb anyways. It looks like a CMP tie, and seed bomb doesn't quite take them out there, and this should be range where a body slam will be enough damage to take out the Trevenant, but I'm able to Powder Snow, farm down the Vigoroth, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Steelix in the lead. Now this is a bit of a tricky matchup for all of my Pokemon. It's not a guaranteed win here, and unfortunately we do lag there, so we don't get off the Avalanche, and we also don't get the Powder Snow in for free either, so that really sucks. We're now behind, we have to go for the Avalanche here. We do at least grab the shield, and now we swap into our Shadow Donphan, and the opponent responds with a Pidgeot. Now this is where Shadow Donphan is absolutely devastating because we can grab both shields from the opponent. Well, we already had that first shield here. Gonna go for that body slam now, and body slam is going to do big damage, and we don't really care if they Feather Dance or Brave Bird. The opponent does go for that Feather Dance, and that will allow me to make it to a body slam to take them out. We overfarm, throwing on the CMP tie just to make sure we've got very minimal health here, and we take out the Pidgeot with that body slam. They come back in with the Steelix, and now I'm going to come in with my Trevenant, and I'm feeling pretty good about this matchup here. Going to let this move go through, and then eventually I'm going to swap into my Shadow Mamoswine because I know even if they've got Vigoroth, this Avalanche is going to do so much damage, and I will be able to sponge the energy onto my Trevenant anyway, so this puts me in a great position. I can let the Body Slam go through, not going to do much damage whatsoever, and I will come out with nearly a Seed Bomb loaded. We can go for it straight away. This won't quite be enough damage to take out the Steelix because it is very bulky, but we can safely shield once and fully Sucker Punch farm down the Steelix from this range, and I will be able to take out the Steelix and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Mamoswine into Vigoroth once again. So once again, going to save swap into that Donphan, and the opponent does stay in initially before swapping into a Whimsicott. Now this is not a great matchup. We can grab a shield advantage, and we do grab that shield straight away. And now I'm going to overfarm here, making sure I throw at the correct timing. And this Body Slam will get them into farm down range for my Shadow Mamoswine, but they will come out with a charge move to throw into my Mamoswine. So they're going to grab that shield back straight away, but the Powder Snow farm down will be very nice here, as it will put me very close to an Avalanche of my own. They go for a Grass Knot there. We do shield it up, and we're going to swap straight away into Trevenant. Maybe I should have stayed in there and gone for that Avalanche to grab that final shield, but now with the Trevenant, unfortunately, they've got a Wigglytuff, and Wigglytuff is going to be able to fully charm farm us down here and shield once, but I'm honestly hoping that they do shield in this situation, but they actually don't, and they're able to put us into perfect counter farm down range, which is really annoying for me, but perfect for the opponent. And now there's no point shielding. They're going to make it to back-to-back Body Slams before we make it to 2 Avalanches, and probably would have counter-farmed us down anyways, so GG's to that opponent there. Into next game, we see another Steelix in the lead. This time we save swap into our Donphan. I don't really know why I did that. It doesn't really matter here. We're going to let the Breaking Swipe go through, and now I'm going to overfarm here, farming to a potential Earthquake before going for a Trailblaze, and Trailblaze grabs the shield anyways, and here I should be able to make it to the Trailblaze, but we start a lag there, and we don't get the charge move off. That is really frustrating there, because it does cost me flipping that matchup there. Now we have to come in with the Mamoswine, and also they're going to make it to 2 Breaking Swipes, which is so painful for me. I could have just taken out that Steelix or grabbed the final shield, but the opponent swaps into Gligar. Very strange decision here. Maybe they've got 2 flying type Pokemon in the back, but even so, I don't know why you'd swap into Gligar. I'm sure you would swap into the other Pokemon instead, but here gonna go for that Avalanche, and with the double debuff from that Steelix, and even with an undercharge, it still takes out the Gligar. We come in with the Trevenant, and the opponent has a Swampert in the back, so really questionable swap there from the opponent, but I guess they didn't want to get farmed down with their Steelix because Avalanche would still be devastating up against a Swampert. So I'm able to take them out with the Seed Bomb there and take that game. Into the next game, a great lead for us as they lead with a shiny Shadow Gliscor. Very nice shiny Shadow, by the way, but unfortunately for them, I can safely shield once, and I will be able to grab a shield back from anything. They even get a boost though, which is a bit unfortunate for me, but they come in with a Ludicolo, which is a very cool pick for this meta. We go for an Avalanche, grab the shield. I actually swap into my Donphan because it is my save swap, and I'm going to go for a Body Slam before they make it to a potential Grass Knot or Energy Ball or Ice Beam or whatever it is they run here, and the opponent's going to go for that Ice Beam. It takes me out, and now we can come in with the Trevenant, and even if they've got a flying type, we should be fine in this matchup here as we come in with the Trevenant, but no, they've actually got a Gust Pidgeot, and Gust Pidgeot is a completely different story here as they can safely, fully fast move, farm me down, and they will get that farm down before I make it to the second foul play. And now here, this is definitely going to be a Feather Dance, but it doesn't matter. I have to shield it up. I'm hoping I can still Powder Snow farm them down, but I'm not able to do so. I have to go for the Avalanche here. To be honest, I didn't have to. I could have just let them farm me down here because they can now just fully bubble, farm me down with the Ludicolo, and I do unfortunately lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. Very well played. Into the next game, we see another Steelix in the lead. So this time, I'm going to stay in again and go for an Avalanche straight away. This time, we do at least make it to the Avalanche before they get off the charge move. And typically, they are going to go for a Breaking Swipe straight away. So that's why I did throw it on alignment there. But now we can swap into the Donphan, and the opponent doesn't swap out there, so I get the full counter farm down, and they come in with a Credilli, so I'm just going to go for a Trailblaze here, boost my attack, and the opponent lets it go through, and at this point I'm just going to double shield my Donphan here and fully counter farm them down. I don't know what they've got in the back, but they're clearly very weak to this Donphan, but no, they actually come in with a Gligar, so I'm not sure about this play from the opponent. Sorry, I just burped there. As we go for the Trailblaze, and then the opponent overfarms as well. Poor play by the opponent, not gonna lie. We grabbed the shield with the Body Slam, and they did overfarm just a little bit here, so I'm gonna let the Aerial Ace take me out, come in with my Trevenant just to soak up their energy here. and the opponent is going to overfarm in this matchup just a little bit. That's fine with me. I will now be able to come in with my Shadow Mamoswine, go for the Powder Snow farm down, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Mamoswine into double. So going to save swap into my Shadow Donphan, and the opponent's staying in here, but in order to get off their Body Slam before I get off my own Body Slam, they end up throwing on alignment there, which is not ideal for them. And now they come in with a Swampert. They've got me very low. I'm going to go for the Trailblaze straight away, because even if they do shield, it boosts my attack, and look at that counter damage. It is absolutely insane, and at this point I'm actually going to shield here, go for that Body Slam straight away, and I can grab both shields in this matchup. They probably will be able to Mudshot farm me down, but I don't care. As long as all shields are down on my opponent's end, we should be looking good here, because Shadow Mamoswine is absolutely devastating with a shield advantage in the end game. So we come in, we get the farm down with the Trevenant. They actually come in with Quagsire. I didn't want to throw straight away just in case they caught it, but the opponent goes for an Acid Spray here, and then they swap into the double. So here, this is a misplay. I should have just banked this energy, come in with my Mamoswine and get off an Avalanche, but instead we put them into range, but I can let this move go through, and I will be able to fully Powder Snow, farm down this double from this range, and come out with a high horsepower loaded. Now this obviously isn't double super effective like the Seed Bomb, but high horsepower still does big damage to the Quagsire, and it puts them into farm down range. I can safely shield this up, doesn't matter what they throw. They can go for Acid Spray once again, and that's exactly what they do, but one more Sucker Punch takes out the Quagsire, and I'm able to take that game. So GG to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Credilli in the lead. I'm going to stay in this lead matchup. I'm not going to throw straight away, because unlike Steelix, they're not going to debuff my attack, so there's no point in throwing straight away, throwing on alignment. And because the opponent threw on alignment, I get a full Powder Snow in for free. Now we go for an Avalanche there, grab a shield. I actually swap into my Shadow Donphan just in case the opponent does have a flying type in the back. So the opponent's going to go for another Grass Knot here, and then they swap into Trevenant, and this is absolutely awful. I said how Trevenant is a really good response up against Vigoroth, but up against my save swap in Donphan, it is even better, because Donphan can do literally nothing, especially with counter, Body Slam, and Trailblaze. So there, we are not in a great position whatsoever. We're going to come in with the Shadow Mamoswine, and we do make it to an Avalanche, and we win the CMP tie, which is best case scenario for us. The opponent does let Trevenant go down. They come back in with the Vigoroth, and we're going to come in with a Trevenant here, and the opponent is going to go for a charge move here. This will be the Bulldoze. It does an okay amount of damage. It's still resisted. And at this point, I think I need to have 2 Seed Bombs loaded at all time in case the opponent comes back in with the Credilli. But here, I'm going to overfarm, farming to 100 energy, but they catch onto Credilli. I couldn't remember how much health they had, and Seed Bomb fully takes them out. I needed to undercharge that, because now this Vigoroth will be able to outpace me to the Body Slam here, and my switch clock is not up yet. So unfortunately, Body Slam will be enough to take out the Trevenant. And now we come in with the Mamoswine. They get the counter farm down, and I do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent. Very nice catch there. I should have adapted and undercharged. But into the next game, we see Shadow Flygon. So great lead for us. The opponent save swaps into Vigoroth, and we're going to respond with the Trevenant. Now this is the Yonkers team. I couldn't remember what the third Pokemon was, so I actually searched it up on my TV and had the video playing just to remind myself that it was a Talonflame, because Talonflame is actually really strong up against my team here. As you can see, it does of course deal super effective damage up against the Mamoswine and the Trevenant, and as well Donphan does have resisted non-stab counters to throw against it. So here we are going to tank the move here, going to overfarm in this matchup, and we are going to go for a Seed Bomb on the CMP tie with this Vigoroth. We've got back-to-back charge moves loaded. I'm expecting to come in with the Talonflame there so that they can tank a Seed Bomb, so that's why we go for the foul play. The opponent actually shields it up anyways, and now we come in with the Donphan. And I didn't want to throw it on CMP just in case they did catch it there. The opponent goes for a Flame Charge, and now they swap into the Flygon. Can we get the Powder Snow farm down? We're not able to do so, and what I don't want to do is allow Talonflame to fully farm me down there. So what I'm going to do instead, come in with the Shadow Donphan. Very risky play, but I make it to the Body Slam, and now can I make it to 3 Body Slams in time? We've got the first shield there. Going to go for Body Slam number 2, and we are just 1 counter away. So if I do survive the Incinerate damage there, which I'm able to do, I will make it to that 3rd Body Slam, and Body Slam will be taking out the Talonflame, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Shadow Swampert in the lead. So I'm going to say swap into my Donphan. The opponent actually responds with a Vigoroth. That's Very questionable. They could have just stayed in with the Swampert, but that's fine with me. We go for a body slam there, and the opponent will make it to their own body slam. I'm actually going to shield this up just because I will be able to grab that shield back if they come in with the Swampert, which they do, and they come in straight away, so that's fine with me. Gonna go straight for that Trailblaze, and Trailblaze will be grabbing a shield from the Shadow Swampert, and as well we do CMP tie them. So this is great for us. They go for a Hydro Cannon, it takes us out. We come in with the Trevenant, and the opponent tries to swap and catch a move there. We come in with the Moveset with just one fast move behind, so we do CMP tie them, which we win, and Avalanche grabs the shield. And at this point, I'm happy to let this move go through. Either they Feather Dance bait and we make it to another move, or they full send the Brave Bird like they do there, but I can safely farm to the back-to-back charge moves. Foul Play will now be enough damage to take them out with the triple defense debuff, and we've got the Seed Bomb loaded to throw into the Shadow Swampert coming back in, and Seed Bomb easily one-shots the Swampert, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Mamoswine into a double. So once again, gonna say swap into my Shadow Donphan, and the opponent once again, in order to get off the Body Slam, does throw on alignment, and Body Slam does some nice damage here, but they are going to stay in this matchup. So we farm and we throw the Body Slam just before they make it to their next Body Slam, and they do throw on alignment once again. So I get the counter through. I'm gonna shield this up, and the opponent is eventually gonna swap into their Steelix, which is fine with me. Gonna go for a Trailblaze. Probably could have overfarmed a little bit more there and potentially fake like we had the Earthquake, but it doesn't really matter too much. We can now come in with either Pokemon, in all honesty. We come in with the Trevenant just because we can sponge the damage a little bit better than on our Shadow Mamoswine, and we are going to let the Breaking Swipe go through, and now we are going to shield the next one most likely, and then possibly swap. No, we're going to let it go through as well, and now swap into our Shadow Mamoswine. And can we get the full Powder Snow farm down with a little bit of lag? Yes, we can. And the opponent comes back in with the double. We're able to farm down the double as well, and we will be able to survive one Incinerate from this Talonflame here, and because we did land the first one, there was no point in throwing the second one. We can just come in, Sucker Punch, farm down the Talonflame, and take that game. So GG's to the opponent there. Into there is going to be knocked out in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into a Bomber Snow, and a Bomber Snow is really rough for this team. What I should do is just swap into my Donphan straight away. Unfortunately, I would have to go down a shield in order to maintain this matchup, but that's fine with me. But because we go for that Avalanche straight away, what we did risk is the opponent just going straight for a Weather Ball against us, and we would go down a shield with the Mamoswine. But now I should hopefully be able to shield twice and fully counter farm them down, but it's going to be incredibly close. But we do get that counter farm down just in time, and now the opponent comes in with the Noctowl. They try to make a catch onto their Galarian Stunfisk. A very nice play here, but we hold onto the energy. We go for a Trailblaze, and now we bank a Body Slam, and we swap into our Trevenant, and we're looking to be in a fairly good position, but that Noctowl does have a lot of energy. So we are going to overfarm in this matchup, and we are going to go for a Seed Bomb. The opponent choosing not to throw. We're going to undercharge this here. What I don't want to do is leave this Trevenant with a lot of health. The opponent, though, they look to be overfarming massively, and what I couldn't allow is for the opponent to swap out and bank a ton of energy. So unfortunately, I do have to throw my charge move there, and the Noctowl gets a massive farm down up against the Trevenant. And whilst Sucker Punches and Foul Play was neutral damage, it doesn't really put them into farm down range. So I'm hoping that extra Powder Snow will be enough damage to put this opponent into range where we can take them out with a Body Slam. Now the opponent cannot bank a Sky Attack and a Shadow Ball anymore, so I was hoping one more counter would do the trick, but unfortunately it doesn't, and they make it to a last second Sky Attack there to take me out with the Noctowl, and I do unfortunately lose that game. But GG's to that opponent. Really good play there to just leave that Stunfisk, not try and take me out or anything like that. Forced me to take them out with the Trevenant so they could get a massive farm down with the Noctowl. But into the next game we see, I can't even remember what we saw in the lead, but I say swap into my Donphan, and we do bait out the Pidgeot, which is great for me because we do grab a shield and then deal some nice damage. And once again, it's very unlikely that they go straight for a Brave Bird here, so they go for the Feather Dance, and this will allow me to make it to a last second Body Slam, and this will flip the matchup if they let it go through, which they do. So we grab shield advantage and switch advantage, and we get the Trevenant aligned to their Vigoroth. So this is looking perfect for us. They go for a Body Slam, it's double resisted. They swap into the Steelix here, and I'm just going to stay in initially, go for the CMP tie with the Seed Bomb on the CMP tie with that Breaking Swipe. I'm going to shield this up, and then I can swap into my Shadow Mamoswine. And Trevenant is still healthy enough where they won't be able to take me out with that Vigoroth. And here, instead of throwing on the CMP tie, what I'm going to do is overfarm in this matchup, and that will allow me to make it to the back-to-back avalanches, or nearly get to the back-to-back. And this avalanche will be taking out the Steelix, and even though we're debuffed, an avalanche is going to do a ton of damage up against the Vigoroth. So it does threaten a shield up against the Vigoroth. They get the counter farm down, but it's just not going to be enough for them. They can go for a bulldoze from this range. It still won't be enough damage to take out my Trevenant here, and I will be able to make it to the seed bomb, and this will be enough damage from this range to take out the Vigoroth, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Mamoswine into Gligar. Very good lead for us. The opponent safe swaps into Steelix. What I'm going to do is go for an Avalanche straight away, as I will get there one turn before they make it to the Breaking Swipe, because it did take one turn to swap out, but kind of annoyingly, the opponent does overfarm in this matchup. What I was hoping was that they go for a Breaking Swipe straight away, and then I can swap into my Shadow Donphan. But unfortunately now they should be able to make it to 2 Breaking Swipes before we make it to a Trailblaze, which is really annoying for me. Actually, no, they do not make it there. We go for the Trailblaze, but it doesn't quite take them out there. The counter will take them out if we live the Breaking Swipe, but we don't, and I don't think I could afford to double shield in that matchup there. So unfortunately we lose switch advantage. We come in with the Trevenant, and they've got a Pidgeot with Gust once again. And yeah, Gust Pidgeot was definitely a really troublesome Pokemon to deal with the Trevenant, but otherwise I thought Sucker Punch and Foul Play did work really well. Here we're going to shield up the Feather Dance from this Pidgeot, and the opponent comes back in with the Gligar, and unfortunately, even though they had a double flying team, we're going to end up losing with our Shadow Mamoswine in the lead. So bit awkward from us there. We should have fought for that switch advantage and played that mid-game matchup a bit better, but really well played to the opponent as they're able to take that game. And into the next game, we see a Pidgeot in the lead once again, so really good lead. The opponent does safe swap into their Vigoroth, so we can come in with the Trevenant here, and once again, gonna go for a Seed Bomb, and if the opponent does let this go through, then we should be in a very good position. But the opponent actually shields that up, that's fine with me. Gonna let this move go through. They did farm up a ton. They do go for the Bulldoze, but that's fine. We can go for a Seed Bomb once again, and if the opponent does let it go through this time around, then I can safely let the Body Slam go through as well. Unfortunately, this Vigoroth does have a little bit more health here, so I don't think we will fully be able to farm them down, but the opponent banks some energy, so we're going to do the same. We swap into our Mamoswine, and the opponent swaps into a Noctowl. So remember, we saw Pidgeot in the lead and Noctowl in the back, so another double flying team. Very interesting to see, but here we're going to go and shield up the Sky Attack. I'm just going to go for an Avalanche straight away because I know that Vigoroth is very low. They have a Body Slam loaded, but I should be able to shield once and then just fully Powder Snow farm them down, and I will barely have enough health to make it to another Avalanche up against the Pidgeot that was in the lead. And here we will make it to the Avalanche, and this will easily be enough damage to one-shot the Pidgeot, and I'm able to take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.